Hey guys, it's Bub here, and in this video we're taking a look at a version of Windows that I haven't really seen many people talk about. Today we're taking a look at Windows Home Server. This was released back, I believe, in 2007 and was designed to be a version of Windows Server that people could run at home for things like a storage server, a media server, anything along those lines. It didn't have to have all the enterprise features that the Windows Server line of operating systems did, but it had to have the necessary features for users at home in order to build their own servers or like a media server or anything like that. Coming from somebody who administers Windows servers every day, I'm very eager to see what was cut from Windows Home Server, what the UI even looks like. I mean, I'm assuming we're going to be based off Windows Vista here, so we're looking at a pre-Windows Server 2008 sort of feel look here. So I'm very eager to see this. This is a nice break from what we typically take a look at, which are custom Windows ISOs. This is an official Microsoft ISO that I didn't even know about until recently. So I'm very excited to take a look at this, and once this very slow boot up process completes, we'll get in and take a look at the OS. Alright, and here we are in the setup. The first thing I noticed is that hard drive capable of hosting Windows Home Server was not found. So we're probably going to have to shut off this VM. I don't know exactly what. It added a SCSI drive. I'm going to add SATA and IDE and just see. It'll probably take IDE. Alright, so now it's giving us a little more information. The first drive must be at least 65 gigs and must be a SCSI, ATA, or SATA disk controller. I went ahead and did the VMware default with a 40 gig and it's yelling at me. So we're going to try and do a 65 gig IDE drive and see how that goes. Obviously this OS is very picky with the drives that it wants. So we're going to take out both the SCSI and the IDE. We're just going to go in a new IDE disk, and for fun we'll make it 100 gigs so we don't get yelled at again. And we're going to finish this and boot it up. I didn't realize how picky this OS was. Even Windows Server is not this picky. Alright, and here we are. We are finally in the setup of Windows Home Server. The first thing I'm noticing is I really like this setup screen. There's a little bit of like arrow here, which actually reminds me a lot of the new iOS 26 Liquid Glass, just from that time era. Let's go ahead. We're going to select the 100 gig ATA drive. We're going to do a new installation because we don't even have another option. I noticed this is very drastically different from the setups that we see today, and even the setup that was found in regular Windows Vista and Windows 7. And of course, now I'm going to have to go find a product key on the internet. I love old versions of Windows. And I just realized that you can just go ahead and click next, and it actually skips over it, which is perfect. It asks me for a home server name. We're just going to call it server. We'll proceed with this, assuming maybe if you have multiple servers on your home network. Especially for home server, I really can't see that happening, but I digress. I am noticing that this setup process is taking quite a long time. I mean, even the boot up to this, it does take a while. So now we're going to format our drive. It didn't even give us an option to partition that drive. It's just like, alright, we're going to wipe it. But yep, here we go. Now it's wiping our disk. We can see the status over here on the left side. It's going. Alright, and here we are. So I just rebooted the system after the setup, and now we're brought here. And notice that it says Windows Server 2003 for small business. This was supposed to be Windows Home Server. So now I'm very curious to, first of all, what do we even have? But did they just forget to change this? Is this another edition of Windows that I need to take a look at in the future because I didn't know this existed? Let's let this complete and we're going to find out. Alright, and here we are. Prior to this, I actually got a screenshot or a message saying that Server 2003 had not installed successfully. And then it installed. So, and this isn't even Server 2003, this is Windows Home Server. I'm noticing a trend that this is like they took Server 2003 for small business and half patched it to become Home Server. I noticed the startup screen still said 2003, so this is like a kind of a mess, honestly. Maybe even worse than some of the custom ISOs we take a look at. But you'll notice here that we have this nice arrow sort of bluish purple background. I do like that. I like the Windows Home Server in the bottom. I don't like that by default the taskbar is hidden, so we're going to lock the taskbar where it is. I don't like it being hidden. That's weird. Or, I lied, that is not the right one to do that. I'm sorry. I should know better than that. There we go. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the taskbar. So it is the classic sort of, the same taskbar we saw in Windows 2000, also Server 2003, and it was a classic option all the way up to Windows 7. Over here on the right side, we have our system time that you double click and it brings up the clock. And then we have our, what is this? safely remove hardware, and then our activate because we delayed activation for 30 days. And it even says Windows XP right here. So again, another inconsistent mess from Microsoft. Here we have Internet Explorer. What version is this? I'm going to guess 5. Oh no, it's a IE 6. Okay, we are a little newer than that. Pretty cool. Then have our Show Desktop button. Again, Microsoft hasn't changed that. They've always had it, just relocated over here in newer versions. Let's check out this classic start menu. So we can see that it by default creates you an administrator account that I don't believe has a... Oh, well, here's that error message again. Interesting. And see, it just logs me back into the desktop. Okay, so I guess we can't log off, so this is really a screwed up version of Windows Home Server. Interesting. We have, again, like I was trying to say, default administrator, no password, strange. If we go to My Computer Properties, we can see this is Windows Home Server user registered to family. Here's the specs I gave the VM. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. I'm going to go ahead and close that. Let's go back here. We can see by default in the start menu, there's not much. We have our command prompt, our Explorer, Notepad, My Computer, control panel. It splits out and you can pick certain things here. Administrative tools, again, swings out to the right side. You can pick anything here. We have printers and faxes, help and support, search and run. Under all programs, we can see, nothing really abnormal here. Everything we'd expect to see in Windows XP era sort of OS. We even have Paint on a server, pretty interesting. Administrative tools, which is exactly what we just saw. Nothing in startup, i.e. Outlook Express and remote assistance. One thing I am noticing that's missing, I'm not quite sure if this is missing because this OS didn't install correctly or if it's because it never came with Home Server, but I don't see a server manager. I don't know if that was something, again, limited to the enterprise versions or if it's because this version didn't finish installing properly, but I don't see any sort of server manager. Let's go ahead and open the Windows Explorer, which, yeah, I forgot how much I don't like these older Windows Explorers, but let's go into My Computer, and I'm interested to see that even though it made us put a 100 gig disk in, it's only partitioned it to be 20 gigs. So it made us have 100 gigs, and it's only using 20 on the partition C drive. So that makes me wonder, and if I can quickly find it, I don't know where it's at actually. It's probably under one of these. I'm trying to find the create and format hard disk partitions. Did it partition off the other 80 gigs? Or what did it do? Let's go ahead and take a look here at the Windows Task Manager. Here's all the processes that are running. Nothing really too crazy. And if we go to performance, we can see that we're using typical Windows CPU utilization, so 0%. And on a 1 gig of RAM, we're using 139 megs. So not bad at all. This was Windows Home Server. If you have any other recommendations for videos in the future, definitely let me know in the comments below because I take a look at every suggestion that you guys put in, and I really like to do viewer suggested video ideas. So again, if you have any, let me know down in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new around here, as I do all kinds of different technology videos, including device restorations. That being said, I'll see you all in the next one.